Grabbing the holidays by the boughs with Duluth. Step 1. Hire a mall Santa to handle snow removal.
Ho, ho, ho! My sciatica!
Step 2. Hit Duluth Trading and load up on fire hose pants, buck naked underwear, pocket pack bibs, free swinging flannel, and all kinds of ingenious gear you won't find anywhere else. Grab the holidays by the boughs and shop Duluth Trading. Online and in-store.
Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku. And it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
It's the Joe Concha Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday morning show. Now, here's Joe Concha.
All right, let's bring him in. He calls himself America's favorite pundit, and he's certainly my favorite pundit over on CNN. Every day a clip goes viral. It's quite a remarkable accomplishment and feat to pull off in a very otherwise congested environment. He's also a best-selling author of The Revolution of Common Sense, host of the Scott Jennings radio show, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Scott, how are you?
Joe, good to hear your voice, and happy Thanksgiving, my friend. I'm well.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I have to ask you about this whole thing as far as I can't get my head around the fact that we had 2 National Guardsmen who were shot in Washington, D.C., not far from the White House. And then I guess I can't call MSNBC a rival network, because what can I say? It's an insane asylum, and I don't think they're a news network. They're something far different. I want to play cut 9 for you here, guys, because this is them defending the gunman on those U.S. troops who were shot at Farragut Station, Washington, D.C. Cut 9, go.
But of course, there's so much controversy happening in the United States right now with ICE, who are also wearing uniforms and wearing masks. And so there's, you don't know, people walking around with uniforms in an American city. There are some Americans that might object to that. And so apparently this shooting has happened.
There's some Americans who might object to that, so it's okay. This is permission slip to violence. Scott, we saw it after Charlie Kirk was executed, where we had Matthew Dowd over at ABC saying, well, you say, mean things, and you probably had it coming. I just can't believe we're at this point where on national television people could say things like this.
I know. Well, first of all, their disposition is always going to be to try to find a way to blame the victim instead of the criminal. I mean, that's the disposition of the left. Criminals must be protected. Criminals must be coddled. Criminals must be explained. Victims must be blamed. So that's where they start. But what I'm alarmed by is this idea. I mean, he said, well, there's people wearing uniforms. Well, Joe, a lot of people wear uniforms. Police officers do. Yep. ICE agents do. Military does. Firefighters do. Doctors do. I mean, is anyone wearing a uniform for their occupation? Is it now open season on all layers of authority? But of course, the answer to the question is yes. I mean, that's what they want. You wouldn't let all sorts of people into the country, and you wouldn't let a bunch of criminals out of jail, which they do all the time, if you didn't think it was open season on authority in our society. This is sort of another front, I think, in this war for the future of Western civilization. In the West, we sort of, we have a way of order. We have government, we have law enforcement, we have people who sort of keep order in our society, and a war on that order and a war on the people who keep the order, that's part of it. So not surprised, but it is kind of shocking that that's the direction they're going.
And we're talking to Scott Jennings. And here's another direction, and this is something that, again, one day before these guardsmen were shot, Jasmine Crockett, who I don't know when she works exactly, kind of got a Gavin Newsom thing going where if she's not on a podcast, she's putting out videos of herself and saying the most provocative things possible, because I guess that's what gets you on national television these days. Here she is in Cut 13, guys, talking about how actually the National Guard and ICE, they're really slave patrols. No, actually use those words. This is Cut 13. Go.
Donald Trump's mass deportation system makes me think of what a modern day slave patrol would look like. Slave patrols were armed groups empowered by the government to control, intimidate, and terrorize people solely based on color. That's what's happening now.
Based on color. I thought it was based on if they're in the country illegally or not, Scott.
Yeah, pretty much. It's if you're here illegally and you've violated our immigration laws, you are going to be deported. Now, what I find amazing about this, frankly, is that Democrats and people like Crockett are up in arms. You know, we haven't passed any new immigration laws in this country since Donald Trump became the president. It's true. He's simply enforcing the laws that are on the books with existing law enforcement agencies that have existed long before he became the president. This is the kind of language, by the way, that incites people to go out and commit violence against ICE, which we, of course, know they have, and it causes people to commit violence against anybody they see as an agent of Donald Trump. Of course, they're just agents of the federal government, whether you're National Guard or ICE or FBI or anyone else. They work for the federal government, but they're trying to incite people to commit violence against them. And here's the thing, it's working. I mean, it's working, and it is alarming, and she is one of the worst provocateurs and actors. But by the way, it sounds like she's running for the Senate in Texas, and if she gets in that primary, I promise you she will win.
Oh, yeah, we're seeing polls now, Scott, showing her up by 10, 15, 20 points over her closest competitors because she gets so much free media that she has name brand recognition. So at least for now, she'll be probably going up against, there'll be John Cornyn in this case, right? Most likely, or Ken Paxton. Who do you got there? Or is it Ted Cruz?
Well, it's Cornyn is the seat, and there's a three-way primary between Cornyn, Paxton, and then Wesley Hunt, who got into the race. And honestly, the polling is very close. I don't know what's going to happen in the Republican primary. Interesting race on that side. But on the Democratic side, that kind of language that she's using, this sort of rhetoric, this kind of attitude, that's what the Democrats want right now. I mean, look around their primaries, look around the country. They are looking for the most incendiary, violent people they can find. And she fits the bill. She's the leader of the Democratic Party. I mean, this is her. I mean, she is the most visible Democrat in the country because of this kind of rhetoric. It is what their hearts desire at this moment.
Yeah, it gets rewarded, certainly, in the world of cable news, that's certainly for sure. Is there a sane Democrat? I know, the easy answer is John Fetterman. But to your point, the energy is behind the socialist wing of the party right now, the squad members or Mamdani or Crockett. Are Democrats really going to be that stupid to put somebody up so far to the left? In other words, Kamala Harris, when she got handed the nomination, Soviet style, not one vote from the public, she tried to pivot back to the center and pretend everything she'd ever said when she ran for president in 2019 never happened, where she called Trump's wall medieval, where she was against banning fracking altogether. I could go down the list in terms of like all far left positions that she took in order to try to get that nomination. Then 2024 tried to pull it all back. If an AOC ends up being the nominee, Scott, she's not going to pivot to the middle. She's going to run hard to the left because she thinks that is the way to win elections. I just don't see how that works. I see how it works in New York. And I see how it works in Minneapolis and Seattle and San Francisco. I don't see how it works in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Georgia.
It's easy to get stuck reaching for the same familiar fruits and vegetables, even when you know a colorful variety is key. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie supplements don't replace fruits and vegetables, but it makes it easy to add more variety to what you already eat. With 31 ingredients that are whole fruits and vegetables, switching it up is easy because we've already taken care of the hard part. Go to balanceofnature.com and get a free fiber and spice supplement, plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer by using discount code POD.
The Lincoln Wishlist sales event is happening now. Here's what's on everyone's wish list. Enjoying holiday jingles with brilliant 3D audio that surrounds you? Check. Watching snow flurries through the panoramic Vista roof? Check. Packing up presents with the spacious Lincoln Splitgate? Check. Everything you want. All standard on the 2025 Lincoln Navigator SUV. Visit your local Lincoln retailer or learn more at Lincoln.com for exceptional offers on 2025 Lincoln vehicles today.
We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you have a man that spends hours in the gym, heads into the office early, or is just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has their back. Head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
Oh, I agree with you, although I will say the difference between AOC and Harris is authenticity. I mean, AOC is authentically a radical. Mm-hmm. You know, Harris was constantly transforming herself into whatever required. AOC is an authentic radical. The people that are following her are authentic radicals. There is no pivot. There will be no pivot. There's just the authenticity of the radicalism. And there's a lot of appeal in that, in a world that, you know, wants to know, do you actually believe what you're saying? No, they actually believe it. And I'm with you. I don't think it'll work in a general election across middle America. But will it work in a Democratic primary? Absolutely. I mean, it's what happened in New York City. It's what's happening all over the country for their party right now. So if you're hoping to run as a moderating voice, good luck.
Good luck. Roll the dice and take your chances. It will be a very interesting election, that's for sure. On the Republican side, I think it's a foregone conclusion. I did a speech last week, and you do Q&A at the end, and somebody said, well, who do you think is going to be the Republican ticket? And I didn't even pause because I think it's a pretty easy answer. I said it's going to be J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. Do you see any scenario where that's not going to happen?
Well, the only scenario where it doesn't happen is if one of them decides not to run. And, I don't know why they wouldn't run. I mean, if Vance and Trump are getting along and Trump is very popular among Republicans, and, it's interesting. I was thinking about the coverage of this. Republicans wouldn't get that much coverage in the spring of 28. All the coverage would be on the Democratic primary, which might be good for Republicans because the coverage of that primary would be about basically who said what crazy thing today and who's going to say something crazier tomorrow. I mean, it would be an entire cycle of campaign coverage about the nuttiest utterances of the Democratic primary. So it could inure to Republicans' benefit to be out of the spotlight for a couple of months.
Seriously. And we're talking to Scott Jennings. And Scott, unfortunately, we only have about, we'll call it 60 seconds, but I want you to give me the elevator pitch for a revolution of common sense. New York Times, USA Today, bestsellers list. I made the bestseller list for my last book, and it's a good feeling because New York Times sometimes, even if you sell, the requisite number of books to make that list, they'll leave you off because of an editorial decision. But in the end, always good to say New York Times bestsellers still hold some weight. So tell us about the book.
Well, thank you. And it's about the early days of the Trump administration 2.0. And I pitched the president on the book in February. We got some access to the Oval Office, to Air Force One, to the cabinet, to senior White House staff. And I picked out the issues that I thought were hot at the time of his opening few weeks and that also exemplified this idea that he was simply running on a message of restoring common sense and really kind of restoring the foundations of the assault on Western civilization. So it's a great book. There's a lot of eye-popping quotes on there. We did make the bestseller list despite a kind of a media blackout. Fox News did not have us on. We were a little bit blacked out on a few things. But that having been said, we made the list. The people want it. A revolution of common sense. Get it for Christmas.
Oh, man. I got to defend my network, Fox News, because CNN people, we kind of can't do that, right? I mean, that's the way it goes. But you're on with me now.
I get it. I had to poke you this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All in fun. And just to leave it here, when I wrote my book on President Trump's 2024 campaign, the accessibility that he gave me was amazing. Like, I wasn't on Air Force One because he was a candidate, but I was on the plane. They served Wendy's, which I very much appreciated. And the president gave me 40 minutes when his communications director is still like, oh, we got to go. He's like, no, I want to keep going with Joe. So he's just great to work with. And again, congratulations. New York Times bestseller, A Revolution of Common Sense. Scott Jennings, thanks for joining us, man. We'll talk to you again soon.
You're one of the best, Joe. Thank you, brother.
Oh, thanks, Scott. Yeah, that's
See you later.
Good stuff. See you later. It's a good book. I've started reading it. I admit I wasn't able to finish it before this particular interview, but it's common sense, and there's so much to mock on the other side in terms of not having common sense. And I'm sure Scott will say that this thing wrote itself. Anyway, this is Joe Concha. This is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday morning show. Back with more in just a moment.
It's the Joe Concha Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday morning show.